I am pleased to update the Human Rights Council on Sri Lanka and the trends and issues identified in my last report. I acknowledge the input sent by the government in preparation for this update, and I note the President's statement in June that the government is, and I will quote, committed to work with the UN to ensure accountability, end of quote, and will implement, I will quote again, necessary institutional reforms, end of quote. I look forward to seeing concrete actions to this effect, in line with the recommendations that have been made in our report and by various human rights mechanisms, and my office stands ready to engage. I also encourage the swift and public release of reports of the National Commission of Inquiry that was appointed in January 2021, which I understand will complete its mandate by the end of this year, so that its work and recommendations can be assessed. The current social, economic and governance challenges faced by Sri Lanka indicate the corrosive impact that militarization and the lack of accountability continue to have on fundamental rights, civic space, democratic institutions, social cohesion and sustainable development. A new state of emergency was declared in Sri Lanka on 30th of August, with the stated aim of ensuring food security and price controls amid deepening recession. The emergency regulations are very broad and may further expand the role of the military in civilian functions. I know with interest the President's recent meeting with some civil society leaders, and I encourage broader dialogues and step to open Sri Lanka's civic space. I am concerned by developments in judicial proceedings in a number of emblematic human rights cases. They include the Attorney General's decision not to proceed with charges against former Navy Commander Wasanta Karanagoda in the case of the enforced disappearances of 11 men in 2008 and 2009. Despite various inquiries, the victims of the Eastern Sunday bombings in 2019 and religious leaders continue to call urgently for truth and justice and a full account of the circumstances that permitted those attacks. In March, new de-radicalization regulations were issued that permit arbitrary administrative detention of individuals for up to 2 years without trial. I note that the Supreme Court has issued an interim stay order on their enforcement while it considers fundamental rights petitions to challenge the decree. The government has also prescribed or listed over 300 Tamil and Muslim groups and individuals for alleged links to terrorist groups. In June, 16 prisoners who have been convicted under the Problematic Prevention of Terrorists Act and who were nearing the end of their sentences were pardoned. An advisory board has been established to which detainees under the Act can apply for their cases to be reviewed, and I urge a speedy resolution to these long-standing cases. The government has reaffirmed its intention to revisit the Act and establish a cabinet subcommittee for this purpose. However, I'm deeply concerned about the continued use of the Act to arrest and detain people. Lawyer Hessas Hizbullah has now been detained for 16 months under the Act without credible evidence presented before a court. Likewise, Hanaf Hazem, a teacher and poet, has been detained without charge since May 2020. I urge an immediate moratorium on the use of the Act and a clear timeline be set for its comprehensive review or repeal. A national policy for reparation was approved in August, and reparation payments and reconciliation programs have continued. The Office of Missing People has also continued to operate with a 6th regional office open in Kilinochchi, but it needs to inspire confidence among victims. I stress against the importance of transparent, victim-centered and gender-sensitive approaches, and that reparation programs must be accompanied by broader trust, truth and justice measures. I note also that last month, the Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institutions decided to initiate special review of the National Human Rights Commission to determine its compliance with the Paris Agreement principles, indicating its concerns about the appointment process of the Commission and its effectiveness in discharging its human rights mandate. Against this backdrop, my office worked to implement the accountability-related aspect of Resolution 46/1 has begun, pending recruitment of a startup team. We have developed an information and evidence repository with nearly 120,000 individuals' items already held by the UN, and we will initiate as much information gathering as possible this year. I urge Member States to ensure the budget process provides the necessary support so that my office can fully implement this work. I encourage Council members to continue paying close attention to developments in Sri Lanka and to seek credible progress in advancing reconciliation, accountability and human rights.
Pocket එකට ෆිට් වෙන new Axe Ticket perfume